If you clicked on this video, you're curious to why you should be thanking your parents. Look, I'm not gonna hold too much of your time or nothing like that on this video. When it comes down to your parents, I know most of the time, like growing up, we hated our parents and we didn't like what they would do to us. Like, say we get in trouble, we didn't like how we got in trouble. But you gotta understand that God put your parents in your life for a reason. You know what I'm saying? God put your mom in your life for a reason, your dad in your life for a reason. And you got to remember that out of all those kids in them eggs, you know what I'm saying, that your father held you in, you fought to be here. You know, you fought to be here and you came out. You know what I'm saying? It was God's plan for you to be the one that comes out. Right? So you got to understand, first of all, you have a purpose in life and you were created. And another thing is, you got to thank your parents for them just being there for you, you know, whether that's, you know, your actual parents or, you know, somebody your guardian taking care of you, which is considered your parents. You know what I'm saying? We're going to consider those as parent. We're not even going to consider them as something else. They're parents too. Your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, whoever you living with, they're your parents. They're the ones taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, it's like God puts, you know what I'm saying, he puts you in their life and put them in your life for a reason. There's a reason that, you know what I'm saying, you have this mom, you have this dad, because of your purpose. You know what I'm saying? We're all on a different path. We got to understand we all on a different path. If you have a different purpose, God's going to put different parents in your life. If that was the case, God would have just put us all on earth with no parents. You know what I'm saying? But no, you need parents. You got to have your parents. Whether they're in your life or not, what have you learned from your parents? And all this time that I've been, you know, like we all been living life, like we never really think about it for real. So I had to really sit down and think like, okay, my mom's here. For example, I don't have my dad in my life, but I have my mom, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, I used to like hate getting in trouble. I used to always get in trouble and stuff like that. And I used to did not like it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like getting in trouble at all. So I was always like, dang, like hating my mom, like, you know what I'm saying? So I realized like, yo, all this stuff, like the things I used to do, I used to get in trouble for doing, I don't even do those things no more. Like all our parents was trying to do our whole life was teach us lessons. And that's what they were here for. Teaching us lessons and teaching us not to make the mistakes that they made in life. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't understand that and we get frustrated. We just quick to be like, you know, they're yelling at me, they're mad at me again. Like, you know, just complaining. But we gotta understand that they were placed in our lives for a reason. We gotta take those lessons that they're teaching us and use them in the real world, because they're gonna be the lessons that we actually need in the real world. Unlike, you know what I'm saying, schools and stuff like that, they're not teaching us how to survive. Our parents are the ones that are teaching us how to survive. You know, we get so accustomed to, you know, learning about material things like in school, like numbers and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, that we don't really think about the survival part that our parents are teaching us, that they teach us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go in stores, your mom tell you not to touch shit in the store. Don't touch shit in the store. You know what I'm saying? Like, little things like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you go in the store and if it's like not nothing you want, you're not finna just be touching stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then you get sick and all this other stuff. Just like that's something simple right there that, you know what I'm saying, that they tell us about. Parents, you know, they tell you not to talk like, or not to talk disrespectful to grown folks. And once you got older, you see why. You respect older people. You know, you're gonna give people respect rather than off rip coming at them and they coming at you and y'all just going back and forth and y'all cussing at each other. No, you know. So I've already done told my mom, and I already thanked her. You know what I'm saying? Because if I didn't have her, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. You know, like, Without her disciplining me, I wouldn't be able to have discipline. I wouldn't be able to like stop myself from doing certain stuff, you know? When my mom was teaching me about money and stuff like that, and I was just brushing it away. Now I'm older. Now I understand why she was teaching me about this. You know? All the little stuff that we didn't care about. Like, something I wish I would have took advantage of was cooking. Low key, like cooking. Like, my mom always asked me, like, telling me to like come watch her cook or come with her to cook. And I'd be like, nah, like I'd be on my game and I'll be like, no. But honestly, it just be wrong timing. I'm not gonna lie. It just be bad timing. I just want y'all to be able to thank your parents and just be able to just tell them you love them. Not every day people wake up with their parents in their life, you know? So if you do have your parents in your life, I pray that you do, you know, thank them and don't take it for granted, because I don't want, you know, I don't want like you to think bad about your parents no more. I don't want none of that anymore, because your parents are in your life for a reason. You know, it's a need, not a want. Because say you wanted a different parent and you got that different parent, that parent's not gonna treat you the same how your parents treat you. You know what I'm saying? It's a different feeling when it's your own parent. Now that it's your own parent, my bad. It got too hot in the car. I just pray that you know, thank your parents and just finally like actually think about it and understand that your parents are in your life for a reason. You know, learn about what they taught you, and even if you have to reflect and think back, like, oh, I remember my mom telling me this, I remember my dad telling me this a while ago. Remember those things and use those things in your real world, because honestly, the biggest thing that we can all do is learn from our parents. You know, they already made the mistakes in life, and now it's our turn to just learn from it and apply it in our real world situation. So when it comes down to it, I really do hope you guys take the time to actually think about it, write it down, memorize it, you know, memorize these lessons and use them, because life is all about learning. You know, how are you gonna get better in life if you don't learn? You feel me? Your life not gonna be great until you start learning, taking things as lessons and not losses. You know what I'm saying? You being, you know, bad in public and your parents took away your stuff. They did that to discipline you, not to do anything else to harm you. They're doing that to help you. They're doing that to discipline you so that you won't, you know, do these mistakes when you're older. And maybe when we were younger, it's like we were too young to understand, which is understandable. But now that you're older is why I'm making this video. You know, I had to go through the same lesson you had to go through. We all had to learn. You know, we all had to learn and evolve as humans. So when it comes down to learning, you gotta just take it from the origin. You know what I'm saying? The original creator, which is your parents. And they gonna teach you through life, you know, because life, the real world is hard, you know? The real world is hard. And our parents make things a little bit simpler because they're already living through those things. You understand what I'm saying? Like, take certain lessons and learn from it from your parents. Maybe if they're in a different career, maybe not like hop on a wave, or, you know, leave what you dream of for their dream. That's different. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is lessons that your parents are teaching you, and the lessons that they gave you growing up and still to this day. Don't be an ignorant person. Don't be disobedient. Just listen to them, think about it, learn from it. Feel me? But yeah, that's all I got today. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up. Make sure y'all comment down below. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button too. Appreciate y'all for watching. PWEEZY out of here. Slutty!